Good morning, dear children. How are all of you today? Dear students, today we are talking about a challenging environmental issue of the world. Look at the pictures given on the screen. What do these pictures talk about? Yes, they talk about the felling of trees. As we know, forests are cleared vastly for many reasons, for various purposes. For expanding agricultural areas, for expanding human habitation, for constructing new buildings, etc. My question is it right to cut down trees for our own personal needs and requirements? Have you ever thought of the role of trees on this planet? Trees have a vital role in balancing the ecosystem. And what are the benefits of a tree? See, trees provide shelter and shade. Trees provide oxygen to us. Trees can clear air around us. Trees are used as the fuel for cooking. Trees can prevent soil erosion, hence water conservation is possible. And various medicines are derived from trees and plants. It's a shelter, shade, food, fruit, air, life itself for all of us. But recklessly, man is cutting down trees, forests around us for his own personal requirements. And just think about the role of a tree in our day-to-day life. From a matchstick to a cricket bat, trees have a lot of importance in our life. We are using trees in various ways in our life, right? See, the furniture you are using at home made from tree, timber, right? And the pencil you are holding, pen, right? Yes, all these objects are made from trees. Here we have a beautiful poem, chapter 13, Woodman Spare That Tree, written by George Pope Morris. In this poem, the poet urges the reader, he wants the reader to protect the trees for future generation. And the poet exemplifies the compassion, the emotional attachment of an old man to an old oak tree which was planted by his forefather. Children, here we have the new words which are used in the poem. First one, B-O-U-G-H, bough. How do we pronounce it? Bough. A big branch of a tree. H-E-W, hew, to cut something. Forbear, stop yourself from doing something. The poet emphasizes the need to protect the trees. Read the poem to explore more. As I told you, the lesson Woodman Spare That Tree, written by George Pope Morris, exemplifies the emotional attachment and compassion and warmth of an old man to an old oak tree which was planted by his forefather. Dear children, here this oak tree is about to chop down by a woodcutter. The speaker reaches the place and he stops the woodman not to cut down the old oak tree which was a silent witness in his past life. Because this oak tree was not just a mere tree to the speaker. It's his best friend, companion for the speaker. So he is stopping the woodcutter by saying that. So the speaker is stopping the woodcutter not to cut down the oak tree. Here I am going to read the poem for you. You can look at the book. Woodman, spare that tree, touch not a single bough. In youth it sheltered me, and I will protect it now. It was my forefather's hand that placed it near his cot. There, woodman, let it stand. Thy axe shall harm it not. As I told you, here the speaker is stopping the woodman. Woodman, spare the tree. Don't even touch that tree. Don't even touch that oak tree. You should not touch even a single bough. Even don't touch the big branch of the tree. Don't axe it. Because in my youth time, when I was a young child, it sheltered me a lot. I used to sit under this oak tree. I used to play with my friends, with my siblings, with my sisters under the tree. It was a big shelter for me. I used to sleep under the shade of this tree. This is the best friend and companion for me in this world. So don't touch the tree. And I will protect it now. Here the speaker realizes the fact that it's high time for him to save the tree from being axed, who was the silent witness of his past life. Okay, so the speaker urges the woodcutter to cut not its earthbound ties. Woodman, let it stand, thy axe shall harm it not. And you know, one more thing, it was my forefather's hand that placed it near his cot. This oak tree was planted by my forefather, okay, long years ago. It's an ancient tree, very old tree. So he had a lot of emotional attachment to this tree, which was planted by his forefather near his cot, near his cottage. So thy axe should not harm it. Thy is an old English usage, means your. Okay, this big tree is very special, very dear to me. So your axe should not harm it. It's my duty to preserve, to protect this oak tree from your axe. That old familiar tree, whose glory and renown are spread over land and sea, and wouldst thou hew it down? Woodman, forbear thy stroke, cut not its earthbound ties. Oh, spare that aged oak, now towering to the skies. In the second stanza, the speaker says that this old ancient oak tree, whose glory, whose name and renown, fame are spread over land and sea. This tree is familiar, known to everyone in that place because it's an ancient tree. It's a very big old tree planted by his forefathers. And wouldst thou hew it down? Are you going to hew? Hew means cut. Are you going to cut down such an old, famous, known tree? No, it's not allowed. You should not cut down its earthbound ties. Here it means roots. You are not allowed to axe it. You are not allowed to cut down its roots, its boughs. The tree belongs to me. The tree, the oak tree, is the silent witness of my past life, my childhood companion, friend. You will not be allowed to axe down this tree or spare that aged oak now towering to the skies. Just look at the tree, how big and old and how tall it is. It's towering. It has reached the sky. It's very tall and big. And you are not allowed to cut down even a single branch of the tree. Spare the tree, leave the place. When but an idle boy, I sought its grateful shade in all their gushing joy. Here too my sisters played. My mother kissed me here. My father pressed my hand. Forgive this foolish tear, but let that old oak stand. Now the speaker links the tree to his family and his glorious childhood memories. The tree itself has brought a lot of beautiful, everlasting childhood memories to the speaker. And he is telling that when he was an idle boy, a lazy young boy, I sought shelter under the shade of the tree. As I told you, the speaker used to sit, sometimes he would sleep under the shade of this big tree that provides cool and fresh air to us. And in all their gushing joy, here too my sisters played. My sisters used to play under the shade of this beautiful aged oak tree with lots of mirth and happiness and squeals of merriment. My mother kissed me under this tree, and one day my father pressed my hand with love and lots of affection under this tree. So I have lot of childhood experiences and memories related to this tree. So I will not allow you to axe down this tree. This tree is very special to me. It's a part of my childhood life. Forgive this foolish tear, but let that old oak stand. Children, here the poet is becoming more emotional. Here the speaker, he treats the old tree itself as a human being. Okay, he is the best companion for me. I will not let you to harm my best friend. Please let the oak tree stand and provide shelter, food, fruits, shade for others. My heart strings round thee cling, close as thy bark, old friend. Here shall the wild bird sing, and still thy branches bend. Old tree, the storm still brave, and woodman, leave the spot, while I have a hand to save. Thy axe shall harm it not. Heart strings, the expression indicates the emotions, the unstable emotion of the speaker. He is not able to control his anguish, his anger towards the woodman. Okay, and he is telling, my heart strings round thee cling. Thee here refers to you. Close as thy bark, old friend. Oh, old friend, my oak tree, I am here to protect you forever. and my heart is brimming with various emotions, and I am not able to control my emotions as you are going to be cut down by the woodcutter. I am here to protect you forever. You will not be axed by him. Even the bough of the tree will not be cut down with your axe. Spare the spot, spare the tree. The poem ends with intense emotional note of the speaker. Here shall the wild bird sing, and still thy branches bend. Old tree, the storm still brave, and woodman, leave the spot, while I have a hand to save. Thy axe shall harm it not. The poet says that, the speaker says that this big tree is a shelter for wildlife. It supports the wildlife, being a shelter, being a house to various small creatures, small animals, insects and birds. And the speaker is telling that, can you see the wild birds perches on the tree and sings beautiful songs over there. And still, again the speaker says that, old tree, the storm still brave. It shows that how strong and powerful the tree is, though it's an old one. The tree can still brave, the tree can still withstand a storm. It's very powerful. It can withstand a storm. He is requesting, or he urges the woodcutter by saying that, leave the spot. You will not be cut down this oak tree, which is a silent witness in my life. Leave the spot by sparing the oak tree. I have a hand to save it, because I have a hand. I am here to protect this old tree. Your axe should not harm it. Even a bough of the tree will not be wounded. Here is the mind map of the lesson, Woodman spare that tree. The poem explains the emotional attachment of an old man to an oak tree which was planted by his forefather. The speaker links the tree to his family and his childhood. The tree was a friend and companion. The tree was his best friend, his companion in his pastime. The tree was the silent witness of his happiness, his worries, the joyful moments of his life in the past time. And the speaker recollects that he would sit under the shade of the tree when he was a young boy. Yes, the tree was his best friend, and whenever he was worried, he was sad, he used to sit under the shade of the tree. It was a very peaceful, solace, comforting experience for the speaker, being with the old oak tree which was planted by his forefather. His sisters used to play there. His mother kissed him, and his father pressed his hand under this ancient tree. The speaker urges the woodman to leave the spot by sparing the tree. The speaker ends the poem by displaying an emotional, intense, very severe emotional attachment with the tree. Children, here is an activity for you. Unscramble the following letters to make meaningful words. Some letters are given here. You can form meaningful words by rearranging these letters. Try to find out the meaningful words over here. The first one is, let's start with B. B O U G H. Bough, branch of a tree. Bough. Second one, let's start with the letter R. R E N O W N. Renown, fame. Third one is, we'll start with F O R G, then I V E. Forgive, pardon, to excuse. Okay, next one is quite easy. Again starts with F R I E N D. Friend. Fine. Last one, the word starts with P. P R O T E C T. Protect, to keep something safe.